Everyone, so I'm just going to go ahead as always and just go ahead and start reading the advice question. Hey Sam, so for years now my dad keeps saying that he's going to leave the house. He always complains about my mom and how she has done so much wrong to him, when in reality he's doing wrong to everyone else. He's such a jerk to my mom and I. He snaps and yells at us over the smallest things. The other night, him and my mom were yelling at each other for almost 2 hours over stupid shit. We all know he wants to get a divorce, but my parents keep dragging it out. I don't even talk to my dad anymore. How could I deal with living in the same house as him? And how could I help my younger sister with the situation because she's taking it hard? So now, first off, before I get to the situation of your dad and your mom and you and how you could cope with it, I first want to just say to you that you may have some problems in your conscience right now, like thinking maybe anything that you've done may have caused them to fight, or your sister may be thinking that too, and I want you both to rid your heads of that, because fights are caused between two people. They're not caused by an innocent bystander. So don't think at all that it could possibly any of your fault or your sister's fault. Now you're saying, how do I deal with him? We live in the same house and I can't stand him. The best thing I would say to do is take up some hobbies and get yourself out of that house as much as you could. Same thing for your sister. Maybe you and your sister could go out on go to a movie every week. Do something together that gets your head away from the house and away from your father. And you again have to definitely install in her head that whatever's happening is not her fault. And no matter what, I don't know how young your sister is, but kids, they really they know when something's wrong, even if an adult tries to hide it from them. I remember as a child, I remember the adults trying to hide things from me, and I was very intuitive. I was able to tell what was wrong, and I would ask my mom, and I was fortunate enough to have a mother who would explain things to me and stuff, but the other adults wouldn't explain things to me. But just know that children, they really do know what's going on, so don't try to shield her from what's happening, because she knows what's happening. Just not in complete depth like you do, of course, because you have more intellect as an older being. But the best way to do it is to kind of get your mind off of things by going to do things that you guys enjoy together. Take up a hobby, go hang out with some friends, do something like that. Now, I know that you're basically saying that a lot of animosity has built up about your dad by you, you kind of can't stand living with him right now. But before I get to the whole situation at hand, once again, I also want to say that we are all who we are because of stuff that we've experienced in the past. So your father is the way he is because of something that he has experienced. So before you build up a whole bunch of hatred for your father, realize that you only get one father, and that whatever he's doing to you guys and saying to you guys, most likely it's as a result of something that he's experienced that was traumatic, that has altered his personality and makes him the way he is today. Now, it's not an excuse for him, but it's kind of a better way for you to deal with the situation, to not build up hatred, because if you build up hatred for someone, it kind of, in a way, makes you start hating yourself because you are a product of that person. So realize that there are ways that you could react to a situation, and there are certain situations that you cannot change. And those situations that you cannot change, you could change the way you react to them. And most likely, a way to react to him, instead of fighting back when he fights with you, simply ignore him or act in a amicable way. As long as the situation at hand is not physical abuse, I think if it's just, all fighting and stuff, as long as it's not physical abuse, that the best way to react to it is to react in a calm manner. And I know it's very hard to keep your poise when someone is in such an they just love altercations and they love to see you get upset. But that's the thing. Think about it this way. It's basically like a bully situation. When you were in school and there were bullies, if you ignored them and stopped, they would stop bothering you because they like to see how you react to certain situations. This may be one of the reasons why your father fights. There may be he might like to reckon up some chaos or something. And the best way I would say to handle it is just to kind of ignore him. And I know that may be really hard to do, but a lot of times when my mother and I get into fights, I just ignore her, and then she winds up coming to her senses and apologizing, and then I'm like, no, shut up, you were stupid, I'm not accepting the apology. But yeah, of course your situation is much more serious. My mother and I, we have a pretty good relationship, but when she fights with me, she cry. But I just feel like it's better for you to you're wasting your time fighting with your father. So is your mother, so is your sister. Because fighting with someone doesn't get anything resolved, because at the end of the day, he will believe he's right, your mother and you will believe you're right. So at the end of the day, the best thing to do is just, if he wants to fight, go let him fight. But ignore him and don't let him get involved. Don't let him ruin your day. Now you're saying, how do I deal with him? We live in the same house and I can't stand him. The best thing I would say to do is take up some hobbies and get yourself out of that house as much as you could. Same thing for your sister. Maybe you and your sister could go out on go to a movie every week. Do something together that gets your head away from the house and away from your father. And you again have to definitely install in her head that whatever's happening is not her fault. And no matter what, I don't know how young your sister is, but kids, they really they know when something's wrong, even if an adult tries to hide it from them. I remember as a child, I remember the adults trying to hide things from me, and I was very intuitive. I was able to tell what was wrong, and I would ask my mom, and I was fortunate enough to have a mother who would explain things to me and stuff, but the other adults wouldn't explain things to me. But just know that children, they really do know what's going on, so don't try to shield her from what's happening, because she knows what's happening. Just not in complete depth like you do, of course, because you have more intellect as an older being. But the best way to do it is to get your mind off of things by going to do things that you guys enjoy together. Take up a hobby, go hang out with some friends, do something like that. I want you to be able to be at peace with yourself. I think that is the most important thing here. So once again, I don't think that bottling up hatred for your father is the right route. If anything, I feel like you should, just accept the situation, but not start building up more and more animosity for him. I'm not sticking up for your father. Whatever he's doing, I'm sure, is very, very bad, and probably mentally abusive, but I just feel like it's the best way to cope with something is to be at peace with yourself. And how could you be at peace with yourself if you're building up so much hatred for someone, even if what they do, rightfully so, causes hatred? Unless it's something that's physically abusive, in which case you guys need to get something going with authorities. But as long as it's just mentally abusive and rude, yelling and stuff like that, just try to be at peace with yourself. And again, I think that entails not hating him, accepting him for who he is, but not taking crap for him. So basically just ignoring him and letting him fight basically with himself, because whatever he's doing, it's a product of whatever he's been through in the past. And just get your sister, your mom, and yourself, and just go out and do stuff and try and enjoy life, because life is too short to be spending it hating people and dealing with fighting. Life is too short for that. You have to accept life and be thankful for every single day that you've had, and just look at the situation and be like, things could be worse, because things could be worse. When I was 11, my father passed away, and then about 2 years later, my mom entered a relationship that was not a good relationship by any means, and he moved in with us, and there was fighting constantly, and it was very hard for me to deal with it, because I never experienced seeing people fight like that in a relationship like that. And I don't know how old you are, but you can't let it affect you, and that's why I say the best thing to do is to ignore it and take up hobbies, because you can't pay attention to it. You can't let it define you. You have to define yourself, and that's why you have to really just get your mind off things and just go out there and live your life, appreciate life, because you only get one, and you don't want to spend that life just merely hating your father. I really hope this video helped a little bit at least, because this was absolutely the hardest question I've gotten thus far. Please tell me if it helped, because yeah, I just hope it did. I want to thank you guys for instilling trust in me to let me answer, like, you know, for telling me these things that you're going through, because I know it must be hard, and you're trusting me with your problems, and I just have to say thank you, because if I want to leave this world doing one thing, it's at least just helping one person and maybe changing one person's outlook on life, maybe just helping them with a certain situation that's bothering them immensely. And if I could do that, then I could die happy, and I don't want to die anytime soon, so but I'm just saying, you know, I really want to make a difference, and that's why I want to say thank you for letting me help you, because by me helping you, you're helping me, because you're just, I don't know, just makes me very happy to help people. So I want to say thank you, and of course you can message me with any of your questions, and I will answer every single one of them. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.